Hey, it's Missionary Survival. Today I'm going to talk about a natural insulator, cattail. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's a cattail seed head. Now it's a fantastic insulation. You can basically take it and put it inside anything you want some more insulation on. You know, if your hat feels cold when the wind whips by, you know, if your head and your ears are still cold, you can stuff your hat full of this. You know, the whole inside of your hat with cattail, and that'll give you another barrier, you know, a little barrier of cattail all the way around, trapping in the heat, keeping out the air, the convection from taking the heat away from your head. So that's how it's used pretty much everywhere. You stuff it into whatever you want to have more insulation. So you could put it inside your socks. You can stuff it inside your shoes, whether it be boots or moccasins, anything like that. You can put it inside your gloves, especially mittens. So if I wanted to improve the insulation of my mitten, I'd stuff it inside there. Or I could stuff it inside my mitt. So my hand goes inside the wool mitten, that goes inside the mitt, which is all covered inside with cattail. So there's cattail surrounding this. Or you could do both. Tons and tons and tons of options. You know, you can put them in your gloves, put them in your shoes, in your socks. You can put it in your sleeves. You know, you tighten up your sleeve. All right, nice and tight. And you go on the inside of your jacket, and you just pack your sleeve with cattail. You know, and that's gonna really make like a down jacket almost. You know, it's really going to give you a ton of insulation in your jacket. Now in a pinch, the same thing can be done with a long sleeve shirt, anything like that. Anything to keep your core warm is a good idea. So I'll just show you guys. I mean, you know, real simple. You stick some cattail. You just stuff your mitten with it. You know, I like to pull it apart a little bit in there, so it spreads out. So it's a great way if you're out in the woods and you find that you're just too cold. It's a great way to warm yourself up. You know, because it just makes everything more efficient in holding in heat. It adds a ton of insulation. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I'll roll up my mitten. So you can see it all in there. You know, absolutely packed, solid. You know, it feels dense and fluffy now. So now when I put it on, you know, I'm just loaded up with cattail all around. So now when I put on my mitt, my inside mitten is just that much warmer. So now this is super warm, you know? I got the cattail in there. And again, like I was saying, if I wanted to, I could also put it on the inside of the mitt, on the outside of my mitten. You could do both or just one, whatever you think you need to do. If it's super cold and you're still not warm enough, you put another layer, right? So this really allows you to increase the heating value of your garments, which is so important because garments are your first defense against the elements. So they're the first defense you have in keeping your core temperature high enough for you to stay alive, high enough to think straight, high enough to be aware and awake and do tasks. So when your core temperature drops and it gets really cold, you start shivering and you slow down. All of a sudden your movements are real slow, and say like striking a flint and steel, you might be able to strike really fast on it. All of a sudden you're freezing. It's one strike, and every single thing that you do is compromised to a certain degree, right? And then eventually, totally, you can't even strike because you're just so cold. You can't even hit the rock. So this really affects everything. This affects your ability to do tasks accurately, to do tasks effectively. So dropping your core temp really affects everything. It really affects your ability to do tasks concisely and properly. It's also just a quick natural insulation that you can find in the woods, and really the sky's the limit. Use your imagination. Because if you have insulation like this, you can make sleeping bags in the woods. If you had enough of these, you could pile up a whole bunch, and make like a mat out of it, like a bed, and then you would have the same amount over you. So it's almost like a debris hut in a way, of all just insulated properties like this. So by having Cattail available, it really changes the game. If you're cold, it allows you to make sleeping bags out of, say, grass mats. You weave basically a grass tube. 2 grass mats, one on the floor and one over, and you just weave the side. You just sew the sides together, and then you just pack it full of this stuff. So it's very simple and easy to use, and staying warm easily in the woods really can't be understated. Well, it's been Mr. Unit Survival. Appreciate your views, comments, and support. See you in the next one. Take care.